Imagine, if you will, a world where you type a question into a search engine, and instead of getting that familiar, comforting list of 10 blue links to click on.
Right, the classic 10 blue links.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of that, you get the answer. Just the answer. Fully formed, synthesized, and conversational. The 10 blue links are completely, unequivocally dead.
I mean, it sounds like a prediction for the distant future, a sort of sci-fi hypothetical about where the internet is heading eventually.
It does. But here is the wild part for you listening right now. That world isn't coming. It arrived. Specifically, it arrived in a massive paradigm-shifting window between Saturday, July 11 and Friday, July 17th, 2026.
Yeah, it's one of those rare times where the ground underneath an entire digital industry fundamentally shifted. I mean, if you rely on the internet for discovery, whether you're a brand, a publisher, or just someone trying to understand how information flows now, the rules were completely rewritten in those 7 days.
All right, let's unpack this. We've got a stack of internal tech reports and comprehensive SEO briefings from the front lines of what was arguably the wildest period in search history.
Truly unprecedented.
It really was. So our mission for this deep dive is to guide you through exactly what happened and, more importantly, how the underlying technology actually works now. We are going to give you the exact blueprint you need to stay ahead without, drowning in all the technical overload.
Which is easy to do with this stuff.
Exactly. So let's start with the foundational tech shift that kicked this whole sequence off on Saturday, July 11th.
Right. So that Saturday is when the reality of Google AI overviews and AI mode actively reshaping search became undeniable. The data showed a massive acceleration in two very specific areas.
Okay. What were they?
Generative engine optimization, or GEO, and the rapid adoption of the elms.txt standard.
Generative engine optimization. So moving from SEO to GEO, and this elms.txt file, I was looking at this in our notes, and I think I've got a way to picture this. Tell me if I'm on the right track here.
Go for it.
If an XML sitemap is a traditional roadmap for a web crawler driving a car, elms.txt is the air traffic control beacon for a flying AI model. Like, it specifically guides large language models to the content you actually want cited.
Oh, that analogy works perfectly.
Yeah.
But we need to look at the hard technical reality of what that beacon is actually doing.
Right.
For 20 years, you built a roadmap for Google's crawler. It would parse your HTML, render your JavaScript, and figure out what your page was about visually.
Yeah, the old way.
The elms.txt file bypasses all of that visual rendering. It's just a clean markdown file sitting in your root directory that feeds raw semantic context directly into an LLM's context window. It basically, well, it strips away the design and hands the AI pure structured information.
Wow. Which brings up a huge point about multi-engine SEO, I think. Because on Saturday, July 11, it became glaringly obvious that optimizing just for Google means you are missing half of the discovery ecosystem, right?
Absolutely, half the ecosystem at least.
We have ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Claude. And they don't all look for the same things. They have distinct citation behaviors.
Yeah, we are no longer dealing with a monolith. The AI models are, to use your analogy, they're flying different routes, looking for different signals in that markdown data.
Making things way more complicated.
Right, so Perplexity operates almost like an academic researcher. It wants recent, highly authoritative sources with very clear citations and factual density, whereas ChatGPT favors conversational depth and EEAT signals.
Wait, let me stop you there for a second. When you say Claude is looking for highly nuanced, well-reasoned content, how does a mathematical model measure nuance?
That's a great question.
Is it just looking for longer sentences, or is there a specific semantic structure it's scanning for?
It comes down to reasoning traces and structural depth. Claude's architecture is heavily weighted toward logical progression, so it's literally measuring the semantic distance between the concepts in your text.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Does premise A logically connect to conclusion B? Are counter-arguments presented and addressed? It isn't just counting words. It's evaluating the vector space of your arguments. If your elms.txt file feeds it some shallow, marketing-heavy blurb, Claude's algorithm determines it lacks the reasoning density required for a citation.
That is wild, and the traditional heavyweights in the SEO space had to adapt to this flying AI reality instantly.
They did.
According to our technology report, Semrush is still holding its ground as the all-in-one command center. Surfer SEO is leading the charge on content optimization using its NLP-driven content editor, and Ahrefs is dominating backlink intelligence with an index that is literally refreshing every 15 to 30 minutes for top domains.
15 to 30 minutes. which is an incredible feat of engineering.
Seriously.
But because these tools and files completely changed how content is digested on Saturday, July 11th, it forced a massive realization the very next day about what we were actually optimizing for.
Right, which brings us to Sunday, July 12th. The data shows this is when Google AI mode really moves toward becoming the default search experience. And as a direct result, entity SEO gains massive traction, effectively replacing traditional keyword obsession.
It's a fundamental transition from strings to things.
Strings to things, I like that.
Yeah, a keyword is just a string of characters, right?
Yeah.
If you search best coffee shop, the old algorithm looks for that exact string of words on your page. But an entity is a concept. It's a complex thing existing within a massive knowledge graph.
Okay, I have to push back on this a little bit.
Sure.
Because I hear entity SEO, and a part of me thinks it's just a rebrand. Like, are keywords actually dead, or are they just wearing a new disguise? If an AI like Claude or Gemini is reading my Markdown file, isn't it technically still just parsing specific words? It's software.
Well, what's fascinating here is that, yes, it is software, but it operates on high-dimensional vector spaces now, not flat text indexes.
Okay, break that down for me.
Let's look at the math behind it. The AI doesn't see the word coffee. It sees a mathematical representation of a concept that involves a physical location, a menu, customer reviews, roasting temperatures, and business hours. It's building a web of relationships.
So it's looking at the whole picture.
Right. It doesn't want the string coffee stuffed onto a page 15 times. It wants the comprehensive parameters of your business entity.
So the goal is no longer to rank #1 on a list.
Exactly. The goal is to earn cited in AI status. You want the AI's vector database to map your entities so thoroughly that when a user asks a complex question, the AI confidently generates an answer using your data as the foundational source material.
Wow, that is a total rewiring of the brain for marketers.
Mm-hmm.
And this shift away from keywords directly fueled the explosive data milestone we hit on Monday, July 13th.
Oh, that milestone was staggering.
It really was.
Google's Gemini 3.5 Flash, which boasts over 1 billion monthly users-powered AI mode as the absolute default. Because of that integration, the industry hit a metric that would have caused a panic attack a few years prior.
Yeah.
Zero-click rates hit 93% for AI mode queries.
93%. For anyone listening, let that sink in for a second. 93 out of 100 times someone searches for something in AI mode. They get their answer immediately, synthesized on the screen, and they never click a link to visit a website. The AI just gives it to them.
It completely obliterates traditional web traffic models.
Utterly destroys them.
Yeah. And we also saw ChatGPT's market share drop from 86% in 2025 down to 64% in 2026, simply because the multi-engine competition from Perplexity, Claude, and Gemini became so fierce. The ecosystem fragmented right as zero-click peaked.
Which birthed an entirely new job description just to survive this 93% zero-click reality, relevance engineering.
Right, relevance engineering.
It sounds highly technical, but from what I'm reading in the briefing, it's about optimizing for intent matching across all these different language models.
Pretty much. A relevance engineer essentially structures data to satisfy the unique semantic appetites we talked about earlier. They have to format the schema and Markdown so that Perplexity sees the immediate factual authority while ensuring the deeper contextual vectors are present for Claude's reasoning algorithms.
So they aren't just writing a catchy blog post.
Not at all. They aren't writing a blog post for a human reader anymore.
Yeah.
They are architecting a data payload designed to be instantly digested by 4 different alien intelligences simultaneously.
Alien intelligences. I love that. And trust is the ultimate currency for those alien intelligences, which leads us to the dramatic enforcements of Tuesday, July 14.
Oh, Tuesday was intense.
Yeah. Because if zero-click rates are at 93% and AI is answering almost everything, Google has to fiercely protect the quality of those AI answers. If the model starts confidently giving users garbage information or hallucinations, the trust is broken and the whole system collapses.
The stakes couldn't be higher, which is why on Tuesday, July 14th, the June 2026 Google Spam update fully settled with a brutal, explicit rule.
What was it?
Manipulating generative AI responses is now officially classified as spam, period. We saw Google search profiles launch, making publisher identity verification totally mainstream.
Right, and the biggest shift in that Tuesday, July 14 update was around EEAT, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness.
Yep, the old reliable acronym.
But it used to be this vague guideline, right? You'd read a Google manual, and it was basically a dress code recommendation for a restaurant, business casual preferred.
That's a good way to put it.
But then It graduated to a hard technical SEO signal.
Mhm.
It became the biometric scanner at a high-security facility. If you don't have genuine brand authority, verified identity, and original research, you aren't getting in.
Exactly. And to build on your biometric scanner analogy, we need to talk about how it scans you.
Okay, let's hear it.
It is no longer just looking at your About Us page. It is looking for schema markup, linked to Google search profiles with cryptographic proof of publisher identity. If that hard technical validation isn't there, the LLM drops you from its context window entirely.
Wow. I remember the old days of affiliate marketing, where people would spin up a WordPress site, stuff it with keywords, and rank for best running shoes over a weekend.
Oh, those days are long over. And the reason this security is so tight now comes down to the new Universal Commerce Protocol, or UCP, which was widely integrated around this time.
The ability to buy things directly inside the search interface.
Precisely. Shoppers can now buy products directly from AI mode and Gemini results without ever visiting the retailer's website.
That's huge.
Right. If Google is going to facilitate a financial transaction entirely within its AI interface, it has to be mathematically certain that the merchant is legitimate. E-commerce SEO is fundamentally reshaped by this trust requirement. You have to connect your real-time inventory API directly to the search engine.
So no more faking it.
No. The AI content farms and thin affiliate sites, they were aggressively, systematically deprioritized because they cannot pass that biometric cryptographic scan.
Brutal. And as a side note, on Tuesday, July 14th, the briefing highlights that SE Ranking was named the best value AI SEO platform. Everyone was scrambling to adapt to these new EET signals, and budgets were tightening.
Which is a perfect transition to the middle of the week. Because to survive Tuesday's strict new authority signals and spam updates, the industry realized their old keyword counting tools were practically ancient artifacts.
Enter Wednesday, July 15th and Thursday, July 16th, the tool evolution and the rise of the agents.
Yeah, a massive shift.
On Wednesday, July 15th, the major platforms dropped massive updates to meet the moment. Semrush 1 launched, blending traditional SEO with AI monitoring into a unified platform. Pro pricing starting at $119.95 a month.
A critical move, because you can't measure an entity's performance across vector databases with a tool designed to scrape search engine results pages. You also saw Ahrefs roll out their AI-enhanced backlink intelligence.
Right, automatically identifying toxic link patterns and velocity anomalies, starting at $99 a month for Lite.
Exactly. And BrightEdge took the lead in enterprise automation with specific AI overview monitoring.
But then Thursday, July 16 happened, and things went from simply upgrading the tools to something entirely different. Thursday, July 16 was all about agentic SEO.
Agentic SEO.
AI agent workflows emerged as the defining trend. AI visibility tracking platforms became their own distinct software category.
We basically moved from human-assisted workflows to fully autonomous negotiations.
It's crazy. Site AI started offering 13-plus specialized AI agents. Tools like SEO Image launched dual audits, evaluating both traditional crawling and LLM visibility at the same time. Ubersuggest even added ChatGPT prompt tracking.
I mean, it was a dizzying amount of innovation in a 48-hour window.
Yeah.
But the core concept here is that human intervention is being removed from the middle of the process.
Here is where it gets really interesting and honestly a little existential.
Uh-oh.
If AI agents, like the ones users have on their phones, are doing the searching and parsing on behalf of humans,
Right.
and these new AI SEO agents from tools like Site AI are doing the optimizing and data structuring on behalf of the brands, are we just watching bots negotiate with bots?
Yes, that is the defining philosophical and technical reality of agentic SEO. You are watching a highly complex, multi-layered negotiation between machines.
Okay, let's break that down for the listener. Walk me through a literal hypothetical scenario of how this bot-to-bot negotiation actually works.
All right, let's say a user asks their phone's AI agent for the best waterproof running jacket under $150. In the past, the user would type that into Google, read 5 articles, and make a decision themselves.
Standard e-commerce journey.
Right. But today, the phone's agent instantly pings the AI agent of a brand like Nike. Nike's agent doesn't send back a colorful web page. It feeds the phone's agent raw schema, data durability metrics, real-time inventory, pricing, and independent review vectors. The phone's agent cross-references that data with an agent from REI and an agent from Patagonia in milliseconds. It evaluates the reasoning traces, verifies the cryptographic EET signatures, and then synthesizes an audio answer for the human. The Nike Shield jacket is your best option. It's in stock nearby. Would you like me to buy it?
Wow. The human is completely removed from the transaction until the very end when the answer is delivered.
Exactly. Which is why tools like SiteAI's visibility score, which emerged as a standout during that time, are absolutely vital. You're no longer measuring where a static link sits on a static page. You have to measure the sentiment and the accuracy of the bot-to-bot negotiation.
Right.
How is a third-party LLM describing your brand entity in its context window? If ChatGPT's agent is talking to your brand's AI-optimized data layer, what is the output? You need specialized dashboards to monitor that invisible conversation.
The transition from where do I rank to how does the AI describe my brand is arguably the most profound change in modern marketing. Which brings us to the end of this absolutely historic time period, Friday, July 17th.
Yeah, the dust begins to settle.
The new reality is cemented.
On Friday, July 17th, the zero-click dominance of Google AI overviews was officially recognized as the new normal. The standards that accelerated on Saturday GEO and the elms.txt file were accepted as the absolute baseline for entry.
Yep.
And the modern tech stack to manage all of this was reinforced.
So you've got Semrush acting as the all-in-one command center, Surfer SEO maintaining the structural content standard, and Ahrefs serving as the backlink powerhouse. The pillars are still standing, but they are supporting a completely different kind of building.
That's a perfect way to put it. So if we emphasized all of this, the takeaways for you listening are clear and actionable. To survive in the ecosystem established by Friday, July 17, you have to execute on 3 fronts immediately.
Give it to them.
First, you must maintain your elms.txt file right alongside your traditional XML sitemap. It is non-negotiable.
Get your air traffic control beacon online and make sure it's feeding clean markdown to the models.
Exactly. Second, you must expand your horizon and structure your data for Perplexity, Claude, and Gemini, not just Google. You have to satisfy multiple distinct semantic appetites.
Right.
And third, you have to invest in real, authentic brand building. EET is a hard, technical cryptographic signal now. You have to be a verified, trustworthy entity plugged into protocols like the UCP, or the AI will simply ignore you.
So what does this all mean for your immediate to-do list? It means you need to check your site's AI visibility using the new tracking platforms. You need to establish that elms.datanearyoutxt file immediately. And you need to completely stop thinking of your brand as a list of keywords to plug into a web page and start building up the comprehensive knowledge graph that defines your entity.
It is a profound shift in mindset. But as the cascading events between Saturday, July 11 and Friday, July 17, 2026 proved beyond a shadow of a doubt, it is the only path forward.
It really is. But before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final puzzle to mull over, something to think about on your drive or while you're making dinner. We established that agentic SEO is taking over. Right.
AI models are doing almost 100% of the reading, parsing through the data layers, negotiating with each other in milliseconds, just to give a human user a summarized audio or visual answer.
Yeah.
So, how long until we stop designing websites for human eyes entirely?
Oh, wow.
If the AI is the only entity actually visiting the site, how long until we stop picking out fonts, layout designs, and color schemes, and just build raw, data-fed API endpoints for the AI to consume? Think about that. Until next time, thanks for taking the deep dive.